we brought together some of the most amazing, brilliant minds to Free Health, and I can't wait to share some of that with you. If you have a chance today, please see Kip. He's right here in front. He's our CTO. He's out of Amazon and Omnicom, who's led technology and data fragmentation for both of those companies. And Free Health is about bringing data back into the palm of your hand so you can make really actionable insights on your journey. So with that being said, I'm excited to introduce you to our panel, but instead of me introducing you, I'd like for them to introduce themselves. So if you guys on the panel, and we're gonna start right at the front, if you guys can, 60 seconds, please introduce yourselves and let everybody know what's exciting.
Catherine Hill-Ritchie, glad to be here again. Thank you, Anthony. Been to several of these events. I do work for the state of Maryland, but I also have my own company for 15 years. My husband and I have worked for 8 billionaire family offices. There's Alexander. And so we also lived in Switzerland, worked for 3 Middle Eastern family offices, Filipino, and then a lot of Americans. So we have a global investment perspective, but we do a lot of early stage healthcare, including diagnostics, devices, biotech, but also digital health. Happy to get into more of it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nicolas Tetreault from Montreal. I own Arthur Tetreault Hyperbaric Centers deploying Canada, US, Mexico, and the Middle East, and Europe. I just acquired 50% of 7 stem cell centers in Mexico and Colombia. Also negotiated the rights with the help of the US consulate where I live in Mexico part-time, the right to sell MUSC and MUSE stem cells. And I'm also advisor to Replicor, a biotech that works with hepatitis D and chronic hepatitis B and Diamantis.
Awesome. Ellen?
So I'm Ellen Brown, and I suspect I may end up getting canceled after I say what I'm working on. So I've spent over 30 years working on optimizing, fixing, trying to make better, more efficient the healthcare system. And a couple of years ago, I realized I either needed to walk away or figure out how to fix it. And so now I am working on removing the silos between soil, food, and healthcare so that we can restore human outcomes and in the chronic disease epidemic by fixing all of the above and basically making healthcare optional. So I'm sorry for all of those that want to see us continue to monetize disease, but I no longer do.
Amazing, amazing. Greg, great to see you again.
Good to see you, sir. Greg Downey with Perm Ventures, based in Sarasota, but we work all over the world. Predominantly focused on early stage seed to A type companies. They've got to get to the root cause of a problem, so it's software, we're in peptide, stem cell, regenerative medicine, longevity. We got to be able to help them beyond the capital. Usually it's getting them into market, getting them into VA, different places of the world. I'm a big fan of what we're seeing as kind of a new layer of healthcare, if you will, where you're not going to the big building with the white coats. You're going to concierge level style. Either it's done at home or it's done through telemedicine. It's precision. It's based off your DNA, what's going on with you, but it's actually getting to the heart of the matter and healing people without surgery and poisoning people. And we're seeing that stuff grow pretty rapidly around the world, and that's the stuff we're focused on.
Excellent, excellent. Next, Trish.
Hi, my name is Trish Kane. I am the CEO and founder of Healerverse. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Hattie, for having us here today. Healerverse is a platform that gives people the opportunity to find spiritual and holistic practitioners locally and worldwide, and friendships, also events, experiences, and resources to help people to heal at the root and find community that are like-minded. I pretty much get along with everybody on this panel officially based on what you guys are all working on. I am headquartered in Jupiter, Florida, an hour and a half north of here. And for additional information and to follow me on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn is Trish Kane, MBA. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Rose?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Anthony, and thank all of you for being here, especially sitting through the conference all day, so kudos to all of you. My name is Rose Satz. I'm the founder, CEO, funder of a company called Advanced Innovative Partners. We're working on many different areas, all the way from oncology, rare diseases, children's cancers, children's diseases, infectious diseases, neurological diseases, and not only that, genetic testing. We have funded our own company. We're also working in wellness in the area of stem cells and some other areas as well. So we have a vast area that we're working on. I've been in the healthcare space for over 30 years. I've not only helped build my company, but I've also helped several companies build themselves in the area of pharma, MedTech, and in nutraceuticals, which is also a huge industry.
Amazing. John?
What a great event and what a great conference. Thank you, Hadi. I'm John Stewart. I run my own family office, Stewart Ventures. I'm a reformed company starter and venture capitalist in life sciences primarily. I'm going to make 3 predictions for this. Number 1, there's never been a better time to be alive. We will cut the incidence of cancer, death by 80% in the next 20 years. So that means there'll be 400% more cancer survivors than there are today. Number 2, we are going to dramatically reduce the amount of obesity in the world. It'll be at least 50% in the next 20 years, and all the associated diseases of it. And number 3, we will cut the incidence of neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's disease and related brain disorders by a significant margin. You heard it here first.
Amazing. Hey, doctor, nice to see you again.
You too. Hi, my name is Edward Geiler. I'm a practicing urologist here in Miami. We have a company called Focalix, and actually today I cured 8 men of prostate cancer with our patented technology, FDA approved. It's super targeted. It helps men avoid surgery and radiation. I'm a cancer specialist, but I'm also a reconstructive specialist. And I'm tired of having to put artificial urinary sphincters and penile implants in men after surgery for prostate cancer. The other issue is that men are dying every day because they're not getting screened, and they're not getting screened because we have treatments that harm them. Or we tell them you have cancer and they'll get any treatment. So that's why we are working actively and having Focalix treatment centers throughout the world. And wouldn't you like to have a center in your community?
Absolutely. Well, first off, this amazing panel, hats off to all of you guys and your leadership here. I just want to thank you all for your leadership. I think everybody in this room can attest to that as well, that we really need technology, we need capital, and we need innovation to really advance healthcare. We think the system is broken. I don't have to ask anyone on this panel if it is broken, how do we fix it? And it starts by leadership, so hats off to all of you. But let's get into some questions, because I think everybody's excited not only to understand where people are deploying capital, but what innovations are out there today. Ellen, I'm actually going to go back to you for this question. You spent decades in healthcare. What made you believe the bigger opportunity may sit outside the current system?
You know what's funny is it's as if you teed me up, but you actually did not. So you talked about the $5.3 trillion problem. You didn't put the dollar figure on it, but that's the current,
Trillion.
which it's already
Trillion.
probably gone up over 6 by now, by the way, of healthcare just in the U.S. alone, and it's a global crisis. And that is exactly why I looked at it and said, I can't fix this, because it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is monetizing disease. That's what we designed the acute care healthcare system to do. We spend $2.6 trillion on, this is just in the US, on food, and it's based on, it was designed around cheap calories. That then fuels a $5.3 trillion healthcare market that about $3 trillion of that is chronic disease that's diet related. We spend another $1 trillion plus in non-redundant wellness and longevity, and that is also to seek solutions that our acute healthcare system does not provide. So I looked at it and said, that's actually a $9 trillion opportunity, and with AI, it gives us the computational power to actually solve the design challenge of our lifetime and century.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you so much. And Dr. Geller, I'm going to bring this back to you. From a clinical standpoint, if this became a personal for you tomorrow, what would you wish existed today that doesn't?
I agree with all the prevention stuff. And ultimately, if you decrease the disease, then you will have less need for the acute disease. And kind of like I kind of want to put myself out of business. But I think the way I see it, the world is going that way. And I think AI is helping a lot. I was just telling one of my business partners that I have a research project on on cancer, prostate cancer outcomes, and I used Cloud Code. And I did work that normally would take me 3 months with statistics and research papers, and I wrote it within 5 minutes.
Yep.
So I think it's very exciting. We live in a very exciting time.
Yeah, AI right now is going to help physicians tremendously, and I think we're going to tap into that because we got to give the power back to the doctors, and obviously aggregating data. If we give that to you easily, accessible, I know you're going to be able to make better decisions and help your patients.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that as well. Let's get into capital. Catherine, this goes to you. How has healthcare funding landscape evolved, and where are you seeing the best opportunities today?
Well, I live right outside of Washington, D.C., and as we know, there has been widespread effects of government funding for early stage, NIH, Johns Hopkins, that's where I am, and the government has pulled back on a lot of that funding. And so unfortunately, you've got fantastic scientists who have things that are looking for diagnostics, doing biotech research for drugs, but with that funding pulling back, that could then delay us getting products and services that could save our lives. So family offices need to step up, angels need to step up, people need to step up, because if the government isn't funding NIH and universities at that early stage, then who will? We need to. AI will help reduce the cost, but the cost of scientific research, hiring a CRO, and doing these experiments and trials is still needed. And so I think that's how the funding landscape has changed, and conferences like this can help us more be aware that, we need to put some capital at risk to save people's lives. And sometimes it's going to have to come from us and not our government.
And I can't agree more. I attend a lot of these family office conferences. A lot of it's focused on real estate. And yes, real estate's extremely attractive. We are breathing through $1 trillion problems in healthcare. Healthcare is a super attractive place to be right now, specifically with AI. And I couldn't agree with Catherine more. We need, personally, all of us need to invest some way, whether it's capital or collaboration, to commit back to healthcare, because we're failing at this moment, and we've got to do our justice and our job to make it impressive. So I'm going to lead that question actually into Greg. I actually know really well. He's investing heavily into healthcare. And Greg, where are you seeing investments going into healthcare? Can you tell me some things that are being invested into and what shouldn't be invested into?
So with things that we're seeing personally, right? We're our own little ecosystem, but is going into toxins. Right, so if you take anything away from here, if you're not a healthcare person, 95% of disease is toxin related. Toxins cause inflammation, inflammation causes disease. Right, so go to the source. And so we're getting bombarded by 200,000 toxins annually. You think about all the water, the cosmetics, all the lotions and potions we put on ourselves. Like, the endocrine system can't take that. And so we're very focused on these different types of companies that can be standalone by themselves. One is a company we're bullish on, MD Lifespan. They're here in Miami now, but they can remove 100% of microplastics from the body, heavy metals, toxins, spike proteins, right? So go to the root cause, get rid of inflammation. That gets your body down to where you were in your 20s, where you can handle, these types of toxins. And then we're also very bullish on nanotechnology and peptides, is doing custom based off the person's blood work, everything that's going on, targeting root cause disease. Cancer's a big one. We're seeing stage 4 cancers, go into remission very, very quickly. I'm excited about that field, but we also had to take them offshore. They were able to practice here in the U.S. because they're on Indian tribal ground. So it's not easy, right? So we're interested in going after the toxins, the inflammation, red light, near infrared. There's a company that's here in November. They're doing amazing things in autism, and they're doing a study with UPenn. They can get rid of migraines, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry, in about 5 minutes with their technology. So those types of therapies that you can do in a clinic, do at home, that aren't hundreds of thousands of dollars to receive them, is something that we're excited about.
It seems to me you're working on technology that helps the body fight back and I love that. And I've been hearing a lot about peptides. I think the whole world is on this peptide journey, and it's one of the fastest growing arenas in nutritional and supplements right now. So I'd love to learn more about that. And thank you as well, because I always lean on you when it comes to cutting edge new technology. So I think a lot of people can learn a lot from you when it comes to that. With that being said, next, let's speak to John. John, let's talk about AI today. What tangible impact is AI having today on drug development, trials, and any other areas you see some returns?
Thank you. I'm going to skip that question and put a plug in a slightly different place if I could.
Yeah, go
Someone
ahead.
else on the panel is probably more qualified to speak about AI than I am. So I'm basically an elephant hunter. I'm looking for breakthrough new platform technologies which will radically change the face of healthcare. At my first venture firm, when the biotech revolution came along, we invested early in Amgen and Biogen when they were private companies. They've gone on to be big companies. We invested in the first gene sequencing machine commercially, that was Applied Biosystems. We invested in, when gene sequencing hit clinical applications, I invested in Natera, which 27 billion in market cap later is a leader. And I believe looking for transformative platforms that will change the paradigm of medicine is what to look for. And so if you could remember one thing from what I said, the word is Senalisense, which is a new modality for non-invasive, the brain cancer and other cancer treatment. I think it's going to change the world, and Senalisense is really interesting.
Amazing. Great spin on it. And obviously, I know from a venture standpoint, some of the investments you're making, understanding maybe clinical science trials, but even gene sequencing is revolutionary right now. So we'd love to learn more about that. This is going to go to Nicholas. Where are you seeing real world validation translate into execution for some of the things you're working on?
Well, there's many steps. First off, I'm not a doctor, and all of this shift towards medicine started a few years ago, but especially since the drowning of my son. And just to come back quickly to AI, I was driving from Montreal to New Orleans, where Arthur was treated, and the beauty of AI, especially if you pay the expensive versions, is you can cross-reference so many studies in so many languages. So was ending up doing the 24 or 27-hour drive, asking 1 million questions to ChatGPT, the same version as they use at Ochsner Hospital in New Orleans. And on my own, because it's a matter of life and death, I was able to assess and to pinpoint a list of 10 or 11 ingredients that make a huge difference. And the other issue we're doing in Canada, I'm forcing change. I think the biggest problem in healthcare is the resistance to change. You can explain it by lobbying, intense lobbying of the pharma that want to defend. I can understand they have thousands of jobs at stake. They want to defend also their income because it costs hundreds of millions of dollars and sometimes more than $1 billion to develop a drug. So they need to have this window of income. But at the same time, all of this red tape in both the Canadian and US government is stalling and pushing aside innovation, and that at the same time, people are dying, so you're kind of stuck in an impossible dilemma. So what we're doing in Montreal, we just said, I don't really care about Health Canada, which is the FDA blocker-in-chief in Canada, and we're just opening the centers and we're picking a fight with them, and so far they're backing down. The other thing we're doing is I made a partnership with McGill University, which is like our Harvard in Canada. And I'll finish with this. They're doing with us, and I'm funding all of it, by the way, a partnership with the oncology department to show the extreme efficacy of low-pressure hyperbaric with ambient air, 21% oxygen, in increasing the efficacy of any treatment of cancer, chemo or immunotherapy. And that's what I'm doing in a nutshell.
Amazing, amazing. And this is going to go to two founders, Trish and Rose. This is the same question for actually both, and we'll start with Trish. From a founder's perspective, what's fundamentally broken today?
So I'm broken. Yeah, the healthcare system is most definitely broken, and Healerverse is definitely breaking it. We have people that are healing from the most rare diseases and stuff that you would never believe that you can heal from our practitioners through meditation, mindfulness, like things that I was taught with limiting beliefs not to believe can be healed, and we're healing them. We have proof. So, yeah, I mean, people are sick. There's mental health. Addiction accounts for 9% of spend in the United States every single year. Issues. A lot of stuff is coming out in the media, and a lot of people are very disturbed, and their whole life is like crashing down, and we're there for them. Every Friday at 10:30, we do a Healerverse roundtable. It's on Zoom. It's on the event ticketing platform on Healerverse, and we feature one of the practitioners, and people have the ability to come and learn what is out there, because people don't really know, and get educated, and then two, who's available for them. I would say that in the next, right now it's a $6.3 trillion industry. A lot of people are going more for like wellness-based retreats, events, etc. I'm going on tour this year with a group, like a well-being tour, basically, starting next month. And everybody's welcome to come, but we really need to come together right now. And I'm not a biohacker. I know there's a lot of that out there, but it's spiritual and holistic wellness is what I believe is the solution going forward.
Thank you, Trish. And Rose?
Thank you. So I'm going to take a little spin off of it. I think everybody on the panel talked about what's broken in the industry. I mean, we all know what's broken. I mean, there's people getting sick. So let's talk about the changes that are happening in the world right now, not just in the United States, but all over the world. Number one, there's a lot of wellness opportunities. Number two, we're doing precision medicine, which means from the genetic standpoint, these days, like Function Medicine, who's raised a lot of money, we can take your blood and we can tell, what are you allergic to? What's affecting you physically in cancer? Or do you have a prevalence of having Parkinson's or Alzheimer's? So basically, the fact that we can diagnose you as a person and there's genetic tests that are out there is changing the paradigm on treatment, because now they can say, okay, you can take this. And there's a lot of natural medicines like hyperbaric treatment, for example, and like what the urologist doctor is doing here, that we can actually say, you're AB person, we can specialize your treatment towards you. In addition, you're seeing a lot of healthcare companies covering these tests, right? So the healthcare companies are now paying for these tests. And not only that, in the United States, the FDA is making a lot of changes so that it's a lot easier for companies to get products FDA approved. For example, all wearable devices right now can go right through the FDA approval process. And that's another thing. You can diagnose your own treatment with wearables. There were no wearables 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We didn't have that technology. So these technologies are out there for us to actually monitor what we're doing. And not only that, you can use AI to figure out, hey, what's wrong with me? You can go to your doctor and say, these are the symptoms and this is what I see from my own AI doctor. And you can create certain things using AI. So I think in the age that we're in, there's a lot of ways to be treated. For example, my friend here, she's got the whole program. But what I really think is most important is everybody should do the following. Wake up, meditate, eat well, you know what to eat healthy. Don't eat processed food. Try to stay away from plastics. Get sleep. We need sleep to survive.
I agree.
And then, take care of yourself mentally and physically, and talk to your friends and your family about what they should do as well.
Absolutely.
Because if you do that, you'll be healthy.
And Dr. Gill, you have something, and then we got 10 minutes left.
Just want to make two quick comments. One is, I don't like the word healthcare is broken. I mean, healthcare, we cure a lot of people, we save a lot of lives. It should be a complementary model. It has its purpose and it's doing a lot of good, so it's not really broken. The second thing is, what worries me sometimes about AI is I've been practicing urology for 25 years. So I see certain treatments, how it affects people. So sometimes people will come and they'll have 3-4 treatments that are appropriate. But I can tell, you're going to be miserable if you try this one and this one. And that's something that AI doesn't have. Like AI will give you a list of the treatments, but you need some humanity in it. You need somebody that will be the gatekeeper and say, look, you can do this treatment, like with the old HDR therapy for prostate cancer that Andrew Grove from Intel did, but the side effects were horrible, and patients really suffered through it. So,
Absolutely.
that you can't lose that. So you can't just have AI direct everything.
No, we agree. I think AI is a place, but it can't take away the human touch. And then when we discuss healthcare is broken, I think there's pieces of healthcare that is broken that's leading to all of us being frustrated. So I think the word broken is being used, but at the end of the day, it's just, we've got to solve and solve fast. And I think we have the minds to do that, not only just in this room, but there's people out there that are trying to solve, and we got to get them access to solve. So if we're using the word broken or whatever word we're using, regardless, we got to solve problems. We all need it, and I thank you, Dr. Geller, for proving that. So to go on to the what's broken, if you could solve for something, and this is going to be quick, 30 seconds down the line, everybody can answer it. Obviously, we have 8 minutes left, so if we make this quick, that'd be great. If you could fix something overnight, what would that be in healthcare?
Do you want me to go?
I'll go quickly. Remove the red tape.
Remove
And
the red
FDA is
tape.
doing it. Health Canada should do the same. Everybody, there's too much red tape.
Absolutely.
And there's 2 types of medicine for the rich and the poor. A lot of the things that are blocked, they are available. It's nobody wants to talk about it, but they are available for the rich people.
I think the red tape is a big problem. I think going back direct to consumer and empowering the people is something that AI can help do. Go ahead.
Lack of funding.
Absolutely.
We need to fund early stage companies.
How do we get municipalities and government and people involved to help obviously fund these things and getting that in front of the right people? Continue.
So I wouldn't fix healthcare. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. We need acute care. What we need to do is build the parallel system that allows it to be optional, that allows that $5 trillion to be distributed and move upstream and build an outcomes-based economy. And that means that we can fix the soil, we can fix the food, and then we don't actually need to do a lot of the things. We can make it hard to make a bad decision at the grocery store.
Amazing. Greg?
I would go insurance. So I think, you look at, some of these executives are making, 10s, 20, $30 million in salaries, but you have physicians that, are working harder and harder and harder just trying to, cover their malpractice insurance. And I've been in healthcare tech for 30 years, all in startups. I've seen some amazing technologies, several of them that have never made it to market because insurance won't cover it.
Correct.
So you think about diabetics, think about wounds, right? Non-compliant patients, but you're going, there's some game-changing stuff that can completely change peripheral neuropathy. They can get rid of these hard-to-heal wounds, but if they're not covered by insurance, there's no chance it's going to be used. So it's going to create a proactive model, and it actually would be cheaper for them, for the insurance company. So I think you got to gut that system first, and then they'll help a lot.
I think you nailed it. I think the insurance companies are getting richer and richer every year. Our doctors, unfortunately, aren't seeing that, and they're working harder and harder.
So
and we need to do everything we can to help fix
I know
that.
I'm breaking the rules, but I just have to say, I couldn't agree
Break
with
'em.
you more, but we have to restructure insurance. Chronic disease can't be covered by insurance. We need to remove chronic disease into its own insurance. We need to look at end-of-life care as its own thing, and catastrophic care and HSAs. We have to break those pieces apart so that we get the incentives right.
Well,
Let's do it.
You look at insurance, right? Like Blue Cross Blue Shield, you have your proactive healthcare piece, and it's like you get $500 a year. But that should be a much bigger number, and you have the catastrophic for later.
Trish?
Healerverse is the solution to all problems. We need funding, we need research, because we do have proof that we've been able to heal things with, diet and meditation, literally, and mindset. We have proof, but is anybody going to believe us or back us? Right? Also, funding, partnerships, and all that. I also want to
That's
announce
more than
that
one.
I closed.
Just kidding.
What?
That's more
I
than one.
closed
Just
a really
kidding.
big contract yesterday, and Healerverse's event ticketing platform is going to be doing a movie. The last movie that they did was a $250 million movie. Healerverse's ticketing platform is going to be bringing everybody from the movie into the ecosystem. It's a box office movie. So also we need more creative founders that know how to make money when they're not really obsessed with raising money.
Rose, you?
Yeah, so what I would do and what I would want is to, which we're doing anyway, is create a fund that could cover all these illnesses, that's large enough to be able to cover everything and build its own insurance platform. I mean, imagine all the neurological diseases that are not covered by insurance, as my colleagues have said up here. Imagine the food that's not being made correctly and grown correctly. Imagine all the illnesses that Greg said that are not being treated. Doctor over here, this gentleman. I mean, there's plenty of money out there. You know, all the billionaires have so much money, and there's no funds being put together to help ill people who can't even help themselves.
I think you're right. Financials can fix a lot of things in healthcare, so you're absolutely right. We need to figure that out. John?
Universal, low-cost, preventive care coupled with Medicare for all by choice.
Amazing. And doctor?
Two things. The paperwork is horrible. Sometimes I want to do surgeries and I get a pediatrician that has no idea of what I'm doing, giving me the okay to do it or not. And I wish the money in healthcare was actually used for healthcare. There's so much that's being wasted not on healthcare, and there's like enough money for everybody. Yeah.
Amazing.
One quick thing was that I'm a capitalist, but we're putting the capitalist model on top of healthcare. And so we're looking at it as a moneymaker, which it can make money, but we also have to realize there's human lives at stake. So there's got to be a balance.
All right, so really quick, we got 3 minutes left. I'm going to ask the panel one or two things. Do you have an ask or do you have a give to the audience? So if you have an ask, please ask it, and you have a give, please give.
Yes, so I am an early stage investor myself, happy to share the deals I see. You know, after working for 8 global billionaire family offices, the state of Maryland, we've got a lot of deal flow, a lot of early stage companies that could use your money and help save people's lives.
Amazing. So 30 seconds or less because we're short on time. So thank you guys, and that's great.
So basically, I'm opening hyperbaric centers everywhere in the world. You can become a partner for 50% for about 150,000 US to 250,000 US. Secondly, political wish, please try to force your elected politicians to change all these rigid and red tape structures preventing the new how do you say it? When you find not a recipe but a cure, all these cures that are available, they're not available to the people.
Ellen?
So if you want to be an architect or you want to have optionality in an economy that helps bridge all of these point solutions from soil to food to cell that many of you have invested in, then look me up and talk to me.
Amazing.
I would say, we work with a lot of family offices, so we have a ton of deal flow. We're blessed for it to come at the pace that it's coming at. We can only handle so much, and so we've actually launched a fund, a healthcare fund. It's a little different than most. We're very hands-on, but we syndicate it through other family offices. The advantages of groups that work with us is you get access to these clinicians, these technologies, 5-10 years before the normal population would see these things. So
Awesome. Trish, one ask or one give?
I'm going to give you a gift. If anyone wants to come 10:30 every Friday, Eastern Standard Time on Zoom, you could go to 5dhealerverse.com on our event ticketing platform. And also with the platform that we're going to be evolving a little bit into is a ticket gifting system for this particular movie. And honestly, we'll give you a gift just today, $300,000 at a $20 million valuation, but by the end of today. Thank you.
Amazing. Rose?
Okay, if anybody needs any help, please ask me. If anybody needs any advice, please ask me. If anybody wants me to look at a deal or an opportunity to invest in, please ask me. If anybody would like to invest in what we're doing, please come up to me and find out, and thank you guys.
I'll see you later, Rose. Next, John.
A gift. My most promising investment currently is Sense. They're raising money right now. There's a term sheet on the table that's attractive. If you're interested, see me or one of the other people at Sense at the conference.
Help us bring the focalic treatment centers to your communities so you can treat your husbands, parents, brothers, and
Amazing. And I'm a networker, connector. I have over 115,000 people that have attended one of my events over the last 10 years. I have a tremendous Rolodex and network. If anyone on my LinkedIn can help you in any possible way, guide you or get you somewhere you need to be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm a giver. I'd love to give any one of these people to you. I can't use them all, so I'm hoping somebody could do something with it. So that's my gift to the audience. Please look me up. My name is Richie Hossein. I go by richiehossein.com. And like I said, give it up to this amazing panel and this audience and you guys as well. Thank you guys.